I officially welcome you to this presentation on why not me? Why not me in 2023? How you can use the no work way to reach your goals in 2023. Now, you may wonder where I got this idea for the title, Why Not Me? Well, I was watching the US Open. I don't know if you like tennis or not, but I happen to follow tennis. I was watching the US Open and a new American phenomenon appeared. His name was Francis Tiafoe. Now, just for you who don't follow tennis, America has not had a strong tennis player for several years. And Francis Tiafoe did a phenomenal job. He was very skilled, agile, showed strength, showed perseverance. In fact, his last semifinal set went to 5 sets and it lasted for 4 hours. Now, talk about the need for strength. And he lost to the eventual winner, Karla's let me get his name right, Alcaraz. And just as a side note here, when they walked onto the court, I watched Tiafoe walk in, and Carlos Alcazar is like, what body language he had. It was almost like a swagger. It's like, this guy has a lot of confidence. Well, he did win the US Open, and after the semifinal match that Tiafoe lost, he said, I will return. And if you saw his eyes and you heard his voice, you know that he meant it. He would be back. So what I found significant and inspirational was the bracelet he wore, which said, why not me? Let me go to the next slide, and then you'll see Tiafoe. Okay, here he was. And he will not stop because just because he didn't win the US Open, he will be back because he said so. And I believe that you could believe him in the way he said it. Now, what I'd like to, well, first of all, let me go to the next slide and then we'll come back to this one. Okay, the next slide here. And what I'd like to ask you when you're thinking about why not me, do you ever feel tired, disappointed, frustrated, or overwhelmed when you think about all that you haven't accomplished or have not yet received in life? I have, and that's so easy to do, so easy to do. Or if you never seem to catch a break, you're doing all the right things, but you never get what you deeply desire, then yeah, that's easy for us as humans to do too. Or perhaps you feel challenged in your personal life and in any areas of success, which we'll be talking about in a minute. What does success mean to you? Including health, personal fulfillment, or family relationships. Well, goal setting can help you do that. Now, let's go back to the previous slide because I have some points here that I'd like to make. See, people who keep fighting for their dream, and by the way, we as human beings, you may not realize this, but I think you do it unconsciously. We're goal-seeking individuals. Our brains naturally seek new heights and new challenges to make us feel good about ourselves and to be fulfilled. And as you look at 2023 with all this plethora of hopes and dreams, can you add those words to your mantra? Why not me? Why not me? Because if these words become your mindset, they will create momentum as in your upward climb to where you want to be. You have to believe that you are worthy. Why not me? I am worthy. And as we know, it doesn't take just mindset to reach your goals. The process of momentum happens when you combine mindset with process, and then you track your progress towards your goals. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So put that mindset in, and then we're going to go into how to reach your goals with process and with your progress to match that. So let's look at the points here now. People who keep fighting for their dream, believe in themselves. They consider failure as a learning opportunity, which we discussed in 2022. And I'm going to give you the links to these past ones that are up on YouTube as well. In fact, they're in your in the files that you can download. So make sure you're doing that as we talk about this. Can you analyze the past? Can you analyze 2022? And in the workbook, the ebook that I've given you, what I ask you to do is analyze 2 successes that you had and 2, well, we're going to see failures in quotes there. We're going to say 2 failures that you had, because then I want you to understand, what did I learn? What did I learn from that quote failure? Now, I want you to visualize success in 2023, and I'm sure that Tiafoe is seeing himself holding that trophy. And then I want you to plan for improvement. And what I mean by this is when you see your level of what you're achieving right now, and then you visualize or you see someone in this visualization that has reached something that you would like to reach, perhaps a position in your company, then you have to look at the gap. Okay, what's holding me back? What skills do I have to reach this position like another person that I admire has reached? Then you plan for improvement and you identify the gaps. And then I know this doesn't need to be said. You know that Tiafoe is practicing daily. I want you to practice daily what you need to be doing, what skills you need to learn, how you need to interact with people in a different way. Because this type of determined athlete like Tiafoe will not consider himself a victim, which he did not. And he did not blame circumstances and he did not blame other people. He just said, I will win. I will be back. And I know he will be. So once again, goal setting can help you, and that's where we're going next. So why not me? You have to believe in your skills and your potential. And I have to share this with you. I want you to turn impossible into I'm possible. And I got this idea because I was sitting in my chiropractor's office. Yes, I do use one for my back. And he had this sign up that said the difference between the impossible and the possible is determination. But as I kept looking at it, the way impossible was written was in big caps. And I kept looking at it and I kept saying, I'm possible. I'm possible. So what I'd like to say to you today is turn impossible into I'm possible. Why not me? And then a friend on LinkedIn had put this up and I thought it was significant. I don't care who's doing better than me. All that matters is that I'm doing better than I was last year. It's me versus me always. I thought that was an interesting thought for her to put up, because sometimes we will evaluate ourselves against other people. And to really improve and to believe in who you are, and to believe that you're worthy and ask, why not me? You have to believe in your skills and who you are and what your potential is. And you're not really, because everyone is such an individual and you have special skills. So why not me as you developing your own skills? So step one, as I said, is to evaluate 2022 and ask what you learned. And of course, I hope you've downloaded that ebook there and you can see the page. I believe it's about page 3 when you want to evaluate your successes in 2022 and then a couple of the failures and what you learned from that. Now, the reason I put failures in quotes, and by the way, we discussed this in more depth in another webinar that will be on the sheet that you can download and go watch on YouTube. Henry Ford, who started the Ford Motor Company, said, and this was in 1905, okay? He said, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again. But then I like what he said. I've heard that. But this time, more intelligently. Whoa, that was insightful to me. We learn from mistakes. We learn from what happened to us. And by the way, sometimes the greatest learning experiences you have is when you have, quote, failed or when you made a mistake, because that stays in your brain and you reconnect. You connect in a different way. And this goes along with what Bill Gates said. He says, it's fine to celebrate success, but it's more important to heed the lessons of failure. Of course, Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft, as you know, and we pay him a lot of money for the privilege of using Microsoft. And then we'll have to go way, way back to Albert Einstein, who said success is failure in progress. So that's why I asked you to say, well, what didn't quite go right in 2022 and what did I learn from it so that I can catapult myself into 2023? Then step 2 is to visualize success, just like Tiafoe's visualizing that US Open trophy, okay? We visualize success in 2023 and we begin more intelligently. Now, I want to state just a couple of things about the past. Don't live in the past feeling guilt, feeling unworthy. That causes you stress. Don't be saying, I could have, I should have. No, no, no. What I want you to do is think about the future. Now, most people, when they think about the future, get worried and upset. They get butterflies inside. They get acid indigestion, wondering, how am I going to make this happen? Well, I promise you that if you set goals today, like I'm showing you, you will begin more intelligently and the future will happen naturally. It will start to happen in a no work way. And you can quiet that acid indigestion in your stomach, worrying about where you're going and what you're going to achieve. So now is the time to do it. And as you visualize, what I'd like you to do is ask, what am I passionate about? Because one of the things, and this has been coming up in the quiet quitting literature that's coming out that I read all the time in my newsletters that I get, is that if you're going to be engaged in your work and not buy into quiet quitting, then you have to do things that you're passionate about, or you have to find things in your job. By the way, 80%, you have to like 80% of your job. 20% no one could like. So remember that. What can you find that you can be passionate about in your job? And then I ask you, what does success mean to you? And it means different things to different people. Now, a quick little exercise. I hope you have a piece of paper in front of you, because you can write down 3 things: fame, fortune, or family. Okay, you write those down and then you pretend that you have 100 points. You have to divide those between fame, fortune, and family. And as I've taught this concept, I've had people all over the board. Some of them put 90% family and 10% fortune. Some of them put 80% fortune and probably 20% fame. But I have found that many, and the most of whom I have taught put family and then fortune, and fame is last. So I don't know how you're going to divide that, but divide them up and see. So what are your professional dreams? What do you want to do, be, or have at work? So take time to contemplate these questions. Then I want you to do the same thing for your personal life. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do, be, or have in your personal life? Because remember, the personal life has to be vibrant and vital because it feeds into your professional work. Do you want to go on a safari? Do you want to spend time in a resort? Do you want to go on a cruise? Do you want to travel to big cities? What do you want to do, be, or have? Those are the things that I want you to remember and to think about. Now, as you visualize, one of the interesting things to do is to think about the right and the left brain. Okay, the left brain is more analytical, logical, reasoning. But when you're brainstorming, I want you to use the right brain because that's where creativity and imagination and intuition dwell. And insight dwells there too. So use your right brain. And I'm going to give you a tool for the right brain, and this is called mind mapping. Now, many of you may have used mind mapping techniques before. It's been around a long time, but I think it's significant in helping you visualize what you want to do. You can also use it as an organizing tool after you have brainstormed where you want to go and you have a definite idea, because I use a mind map sometimes to organize my week when it's just so complex I can't decide what to do next. And so mind mapping is a great tool. But for this, I want you to use it as a way to brainstorm where you want to go in the future. And here's an example for you. Let's say that you want to earn a promotion or you want to go from just an individual contributor to being a manager. So we're going to talk about leadership here. And if you're in sales, then you have to win that sales contest, right? If you need to learn negotiation techniques in order to be a better manager. In fact, remember, think of managers that you admire, and maybe they're horizontal, maybe they're, quote, above you, even though I don't like to use that term, but maybe they manage you. But you can learn from all of them, and you may have 2 or 3 people that you look at and say, gee, I'd like to be like that. So maybe you need to learn more negotiation techniques. So can I purchase a book on it? Can I research training? Maybe I need to have better meetings and become known as someone that has meetings that build consensus. Perhaps building better agendas would help, and setting them out on time would help so that people can be prepared when they come. And maybe I need to improve my time management skills. and I can learn Outlook features, or I can research some time management programs. Now, I have a couple of time management programs, that one that is just time management and one that is time management in Microsoft Outlook. And they are very popular because people want to be able to get more done in less time and give themselves time to work on the goals. So next, this is a brainstorming sheet, and this is one that you can download. And you can see how you can write what you want right across here, and then you start going out from all of these little lines out here. In some ways, I think you could think of a tree, because the tree has a trunk where you would write what you want to do, and then it branches out in the big branches, and then the little limbs, and then the leaves. So you could also think of it that way as well. So be sure you download that, because after you visualize, then we're getting into the no work way to reach your goals in 23. And I really hope that you laughed about that, okay? And that maybe you thought, what do you mean the no work way to reach your goals? Because anything that is worth doing takes effort, okay? So we can chuckle about this title, the no work way to reach your goals. But what I mean is that you want to do the upfront stuff. You want to do the upfront stuff. And what you're doing is the upfront stuff is planning and prioritizing. It's setting up for you to do on future days, one thing at least that will lead you to this bigger goal. So you have to every day, just like Tiafoe practices tennis every day, you have to every day do something that leads you towards your goal, because the future is created by what you do today or you do on a daily basis, not what you hope to do sometime in the future. Step 3 is to turn those ideas into action through planning. So we've covered the idea, and you know what you want to do, you know the action, but this might be the missing step where you plan. Okay, that's our goal, is to start planning. Now you have an idea and you plan and you turn that into action. What I'd like to bring to you are some statistics here. Research from the Boston Business Journal says that 90% of individuals are ineffective at defining project goals. That's because they can't clearly see it. They haven't sat down and done this process. So if you are, notice that it says most individuals rarely write down their goals or communicate them clearly to others, which means that may be one of the reasons why you are not making it as a manager, okay? Because you're not communicating clearly those goals to other people. Then it says, in reality, only 3 out of 100 adults write down their goals on paper. Do you catch that? Write them down on paper. And why you do this is because it says we have about 50,000 thoughts a day. It's easy for unwritten goals to get lost in that mass of thoughts. And I don't know about you, but my mind just goes really, really fast. And it's like I get all these thoughts and all these things I want to do. I'm sure that there's perhaps more than 50,000 a day. And if I don't have these clear goals in front of me, they get pushed back by all the tactical things that I have to do, all the little things that I have to do to keep my job or to make money. So now let's look at what is similar to what Staples found. Staples said that individuals rarely keep track of what they're hoping to achieve. And a survey of small business owners, and I don't want you to think of just small business owners because this could also be managers, revealed that 80% of company leaders don't track their goals. As a result, according to the same survey, 77% of them don't achieve their company vision. And I've also heard that it's higher than 77%. I've heard it's more like 85 to 90% never reach their vision because they don't go through this process of writing down their goals and of tracking their progress. So you have an idea, a plan, and an action. And what I want you to do for 2023 is to choose at least 2 or 3 major goals, okay? Major goals. These are not New Year's resolutions, because New Year's resolutions are in your head. They're usually not written down. They're usually not written as goal statements. They're not usually written in the present tense, which is mentioned. Some of these tips are given in that ebook that I've provided for you. So you choose 2 or 3 major goals. So write them down. What are they? And this is, and then you prioritize them. And when I go into companies and we work on this as a team, we talk about prioritizing by essential goals, by problem-solving goals, and innovative. Now, I would say that your innovative goals are those big dreams that you have coming up. Essential goals may be like have better meetings, make sure I meet the deadline. Where your problem solving goals is how are we going to reduce mismatched invoices or reduce customer complaints or deliver the product on time or take care of shipping woes. Those are all problem solving things. And I wouldn't consider those these 3 or 4 goals, but they're there. So you have to prioritize them because you need to solve the essential and the problem solving goals before you'll ever have time for the innovative goals. And then this is an interesting thing. And if you have some perfectionism in you, this is going to be really tough because you have to set standards for goal performance. Some of the things are like minimal. I can just meet it to this level and it's going to be okay, or this level and it's going to be acceptable. And this level has to be outstanding. So what you want to do is choose those that are minimal or acceptable, and then check on those and spend your time on the ones that will be outstanding for you. So let that sink in if you have some perfectionism in you. And then when you're prioritizing your goals, you have to think of the relative importance they have and time sequence and cost benefit relationships, because this is what we do in the goal setting that when I come into your company. Goal B is objectively more important than A or C. See, this is when your team's been setting goals. And then your time sequence, well, goal C cannot be achieved until A and B have been completed. Or you have the cost benefit relationship. B can be achieved at a lower cost than A or C and will produce immediate benefits. So you see, when you're prioritizing, when you're laying out these goals and you're thinking of the vision and what you want to achieve, this is also part of where you're going. And you can relate this to your personal life as well. Now what I want to talk about are SMART goals. I know if you've been in corporate America or if you've ever studied goal setting or where you want to go, you've heard about SMART goals. And usually it's just SMART. And then I found this that said smarter. And at that time, there were a lot of things going on in corporations that were not ethical. And so I thought, well, this is pretty brilliant to add an E for ethical and an R for recorded. And then I came on this graphic from the Lion's Share Federal Credit Union, and they gave many different words for your SMART goals. And so I thought, that really makes sense. You don't have to have just one word in your SMART goal. You need to figure out what really makes a difference for you, for your team, for your company. Whatever you were looking at, you have to choose the right ones. So what I did was give you some goal sheets here, and this is for you to download, my Life Power Goals. And this sheet in here, you can see you have goal setting and goal getting plan. And notice that on this sheet, you choose the category, whether it's professional, personal, or social. One reason I do this is because I have a live program where I will go into your event and we will talk about professional, and we'll use musical concepts for you, because professional is do, personal is me, and social is so. And we harmonize on those tones. And what it does is help people understand about harmonizing your life, not balancing it. Okay. So those are the 3 things that are important for you to understand. Then you write your SMART goal statement here. Now notice that we break it down into strategic objectives. We give them a timetable of when we want to reach it. Then we go to tactical planning and a timetable for that. Now, the secret here is that tactical planning has to go down, and you have to keep asking, what do I need? What do I have to have? What do I have to reach this goal? You keep asking that question till you get down to a daily task. Maybe it's only 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20, but it's something that goes on a daily task list. That's the secret and the no work way to reach your goals. Now, I also gave you this sheet because this helps you divide it into quarters. Notice that you can put any of the A's in there or any of the R's that you want. So I like to say it's time for SMART goals. So the same concept, though, is you have strategic step 1 and strategic and tactical step in week 1. Do you see how this no work way just helps you break it down into smaller increments that you can do on a weekly basis? Maybe a daily basis. If you can put more in and do more per week, that's great. But if not, and you're going for this huge goal that will improve what you want to do, then this is the sheet for you. Just remember, 1 thing a week is a no work way. Notice I've made this available for whatever Q you're in, whatever quarter you're in. And this is downloadable too. And see, you have your goal statement here and your time frame. And then you can change these words if you choose to. And it's the same strategic thinking turned into tactical steps. And you break them down until they have specific, till a specific daily to-do list or a daily task. Now you'll notice here on this sheet, I have lead indicators and lag indicators. Okay, now this is part of the KPI process, and I would not have chosen lag indicator. That was my first thought, because lag means that you're kind of procrastinating, that you're putting it off. That's what was in my mind, but lag actually means that it's completed in the KPI literature. So you might think about that. But anyway, the lead indicators means that what will lead you to reach the goal, what will make sure that you reach the goal. Lag indicators say that I reached it, I have completed it. You can learn more about this, and it's on the sheet that I gave you. You can learn more about the lead and lag indicators by going to this YouTube video, which we did in 2021. And then we talked more about visualization and goal setting and getting the goal getting process in 2021 Q2, because so many people loved what we were talking about that we scheduled another one in Q2, and so that they could report on what they had done. And then we had right thoughts and right actions and how that affects the goal setting and goal setting process. And once again, you could go to the YouTube video and watch that. So what extraordinary things do you think you could accomplish in just 28 days if you had a clear vision of this worthwhile goal? And that visualization process is so important to you. If you had a day-by-day plan to accomplish that goal, which you can do with the goal-setting sheets with the mind map that I have, and total commitment to the goal's successful completion. And by the way, this upfront stuff cannot be done in just 10 or 15 minutes, okay? It's going to take you some extra time to sit down and actually think it through and write this stuff down. Now, I know that there's programs out there, and if you choose to use a digital program, you can do that. There are mind mapping programs that out there that you can use. You can also use some of the Microsoft Outlook tools, like their task list and different things like that. But I like the paper. I don't know. Sometimes I get tired of keyboarding or typing, as we used to call it when I was in school. So use whatever works for you. Maybe you're a really IT expert and you want to use only digital, and that's fine with me. So step 4 is to turn your full attention to 2023 and the tactical action steps that you can take on a daily basis. That's what you want to do. And I want you to rededicate yourself today to goal setting, because goal setting gives you focus, erases doubts and fears, and clears obstacles from your path. And I love this graphic. It's like, and one of the reasons I like it too is because every single morning you wake up and it's a new day. You can erase the things that happened yesterday. You can erase them from your mind if they were negative. Okay, if they were positive, put it into your victory phone. But dedicate yourself, get that focus, erase doubts and fears, because why not me? Why not me to reach my goals in 2023? And the goal setting process will clear those obstacles from your path, whether they're real or imagined. Now, I love this graphic because here's this big ball. Now, sometimes, and the reason I like it is because sometimes you'll see pictures of people pushing the big roll up the hill, you know, the big ball up the hill. But this one shows all the bumps and the curves and how complexity is coming from the bottom and from the top. Things are trying to keep you distracted from your goals. And David Meltzer said, enjoy the consistent, got that, every day, persistent, that means you're not going to quit, pursuit of your potential. Remember, it's me against me every single day. I can use other people to inspire me, but not to make me depressed about what I have not done yet or received yet in life or achieved yet in life. So why not me? Well, write SMART goals. And we're going to have another Q2 goes into April, and I want to do this one on March 30th. So we're going to have another one on March 30th. And if you could put in the chat or email me and say, what would you like me to delve in more on March 30th? I would be glad to put that into my curriculum for this webinar. So thank you for attending. Brandau Power Institute can help you reach your goals in 2023 with private coaching, if that's one of the things that you would like to pursue. And I have my contact information down here. My cell is 770-329-1806. My office is 770-923-0883. Of course, you can email me at Karla@karlabrandau.com. And you can also go to my website and check around, because you can contact me through my website as well. So thank you for attending again. I can help you with retreats and other group events, such as as I told you, we do the Do-Me So program, which is Harmonize Your Life. But I also have concepts called the True North Leadership. And these principles enhance company culture. And it's based on my book, How to Earn the Gift of Discretionary Effort. And we have programs and webinars, if you're interested in that, on civility and ethical leadership, employee engagement, professional presence, executive time management, and managers can earn the gift management certificate. So thank you for attending again. I can also help you with assessments. I do the DISC and driving courses, not just the DISC by itself. I have emotional intelligence. We do bounce back resilience with dissolved stress instruments. And I do 360-degree assessments as well. And just recently, I add an associate who does the Hartman Values Assessment for you. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll get you engaged with him. So thank you for attending. Why not me? Goal setting is not complicated, but it is time consuming. And remember, 1 minute in planning saves 3 to 4 in execution. That's a stat from my time management programs. And why planning? In my time management programs, I talk about planning every day. This is planning every day, but then planning into the future, which will give you the reaching the goals that you want to reach in 2023. So now I'm going to end my official presentation, but I'm going to open the chat. And if you have questions, you can go ahead and put them in there. I'll hang around a few more minutes. And if you have any questions at all about this material, then just chat it in the box and I will be able to answer it for you. Or at least I'll try to answer it. If I don't have the answer right now, I will email you. So remember, this webinar will be, you can access it in the replay mode here on Webinar Jam, or I will be posting it up on YouTube, so you can get it there as well. I hope you enjoyed this 30 minutes of refreshing information to recharge you and help you go for the day, because I know sometimes by the end of the day or by noon, we're all kind of tired from the exertion of energy at the first part of the day. So go ahead and put in anything you want in that chat box. One person says they enjoyed the presentation and thanks a lot. Anyone else have a comment that they'd like to make? Remember, these are concepts that you can take out to your team as well and help them understand. So if you choose to, you can have your team access this material too on YouTube. I'm not sure they can access the replay if they did not sign up for it, but I will put this up on YouTube and it will be there for you. Anyone else have a question? Another person says, thanks. I hope you make sure you've downloaded all of the, okay, one person says they do want to review the presentation because they want to capture the quotes that were inspirational. Yes. Apps that you recommend. I use Microsoft Outlook a lot. And so I don't really use a lot of other apps. I try to stay within that suite because of the email that goes in and the tasks that can be there, and the OneNote is also possible there. And you have several different features of Microsoft Outlook. So I know there's tons of them out there. That seems like everyone that puts an app up has to have a time management program attached to it. But I feel that if you stay within the organized program of Microsoft Outlook with all the features in it, that in my mind, you're going to be a little better off with that. So I would recommend, and I know that Microsoft Outlook isn't as good if you have an iPhone or if you have an iPad, but it does have programs that go into the Apple apps as well. But Kimberly, you can email me if you have other questions on that, and I will answer that for you. Or I will research some that I think might be good. Because, if you use Slack or any of those other programs or Teams, they all help you keep track of goals. But there are apps out there that are just dedicated to goal setting, and I would be glad to look that up for you, Kimberly. One of the things about Microsoft Outlook too is that you can make your tasks and then you can pull them to the calendar. So it becomes like we used to talk about the tickler files, tickler files or whatever you remember. Oh, Monica says goal setting is time consuming. It seems daunting when your workday is so full and time sensitive. Absolutely, Monica. That is such a true statement. And I appreciate you bringing that to the forefront. And that's why I asked you to just pick one or two goals. Maybe your major goal this year takes up the whole year. Maybe you're breaking it down into strategic and tactical, but it's just many parts of it. And that will still help you move forward. But you do have to set some time to just get away. Think about it, whether it's on the weekend, maybe it's a day off work, but you need to have your mental faculties with you too. So it's really tough. I was privy to some programs years and years ago that says get up 15 minutes earlier and do this. It's like that's pretty tough when you're so dead tired at night. So yeah, it becomes daunting. Absolutely, Monica, and thank you for bringing that up to people. Any other comments or questions that you might have? Okay, well, I'm going to close this webinar today, and you're welcome to send me an email if you want any further information on it. But I really appreciate you coming, and I hope that you have had 2 or 3, 4 or 5 aha moments that you would like to remember from this webinar. So thank you. Have a great day. And enjoy your afternoon and enjoy tomorrow, but take a few minutes out to just think. And by the way, as Monica said, it's you have so many tasks going on and it's so time consuming, just your regular tasks. That's why I say break it down into small increments, just things that you can do, maybe one thing a week that will put you further closer to your goals. So that would be my last message to you. So enjoy your day. Be sure and email me if you have any questions at all.